Hey everybody, I'm Topher, and I welcome you to the last review of the Blue Collar Beer, gentlemen, that will take place here in this apartment on this patio. Next time you see me, it's going to be different surroundings. I'm not exactly certain where or how that's going to be. Nancy and I are moving. This is something we've been planning on doing shortly after my mother died. And now that she's gone, we have no reason to stay in this apartment. We're going to be moving on, but because of the quarantine, plans that we thought were pretty rock steady are not so much anymore. So I'm not exactly certain where we're going to be for a while. And because of that, I I broke my own rule and I recorded these well in advance. I remember I told you before that I said I wasn't going to record more than a month in advance. Well, at the time of this recording, this is actually the 30th of May, and this review won't go up until the 18th of August. And I really don't like doing that and didn't want to do it again, but because I knew that circumstances were going to be so strange when we moved, I wasn't sure what I was up against. What's more, I got a really good deal from Liquor Lineup on here in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas on Losee Road through Instagram, and I had a bunch of IPAs. And even though IPAs were originally made to withstand the length of time it took to get around Africa to deliver beer to British soldiers in India, and the hops were used as a preservative. Nowadays, IPAs have to be drank fresh. In fact, most of the IPAs that I got from the two packages that I got from Liquor Lineup were full of IPAs that said right on them, drink cold, drink fresh. So, when you're up against that, you kind of have to deal with those sort of circumstances too. But today's selection, it's kind of strange because it's a beer. I tried it. I first tried it 2 years ago. I gave it a 3.0, and I think I was being actually kind of generous at the time. So the beer, I wasn't particularly crazy about, but the brewery itself, I'm very fond of. So the beer is the Bell's Oberon Ale. It's an American wheat ale. I paid $3.67 for this pint can. That was part of the package deal that I mentioned before, where I managed to secure 15 beers for $55 from Liquor Lineup. So as I say again, and I'm not getting paid by them, I'm not getting sponsored by them. This is purely me telling you, if you are in North Las Vegas, go check out Liquor Lineup on Losee Road. Great selection, great prices, good guys. Anyway, getting back to this beer. As I said, I only gave it a 3.0 2 years ago. However, I've had a total of 12 beers from Bell's Brewing with an average score of 3.98. So as you can see, I'm really, really fond of this Michigan brewer. I'm just not particularly fond of this beer, and that's because I'm not fond of the variety, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with the beer itself. The beer has a 5.8 ABV. Typically, American wheat ales come in between 4.0 and 5.5, usually a lower ABV kind of beer. This has 26 IBUs. Typically, American wheat ales come in between 15 and 30 IBUs. The thing that's funny about Bell's is they don't like listing the IBUs. In fact, if you go to their website and you pull up the link for this beer, which will be in the description of this video, and you go to it, you'll see why don't we list IBUs, and they explain why they don't list IBUs, but then right at the bottom, they'll list the IBUs. So, and I promise, as soon as things get a little bit more, as soon as I know what the hell is going on, I will do that video I've been talking about for a long time coming in regards to IBUs and whether they mean anything or not, or whether it's purely a matter for home brewers. Amongst the reviewing community, 87 of my friends have given this an average score of 3.68. 296,000 of us, excuse me, cumulative score 3.75. Beer Advocate has had 7,234 rankings with an average score of 3.84. The overall score is 86, which on their ranking is a very good. So there you have the ins and outs of that. As I said, I'm not a fan of wheat ales, even though one of my first craft beers was the unfiltered wheat from Boulevard Brewing Company. I've just never really caught onto the style. It's just not my thing. But my buddy Lance likes it. So Lance, if you're watching, this one's for you, buddy. All right. And again, guys, I really am. I wish I hadn't had to resort to making so many reviews, making reviews so early on. But I didn't see any other way around it. And I promise you, I will do my damnedest to avoid doing that in the future. I hate the fact that this isn't going to be up until August, and I'm making this review in May. It really, really kind of bums me out. All right. Anyway, let's get back to the beer. So, I am going to describe that as high carbonation, lots and lots of carbonation. That head is extremely flimsy. Those bubbles are popping boom, boom, boom. I think you can even see in there that the level of head is going down rather quickly. Um, I am using my wit glass. As you can see, this almost feminine shape here, sort of slender. Uh, that's, uh, that's an indication of a wit. There seems to be some disagreement as to whether the wit refers to wheat or white, because depending upon whether you're talking about high German or low German, wit can refer to either wheat or white, or I guess in some instances it can mean either. So there's just no telling. All right, let me give this a quick beard wipe, see what I encounter. Oh, lots of malt and spice profile. When you go to Bell's website, they say that there's only 4 ingredients in this, and fruit and spices are not in there. However, fruit and spices are part of the flavor. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm smelling if they don't use fruit or spices, but it sure is a fruity smell. Is a spicy profile. I'm picking up on a lot of hop, not hop. I'm sorry, malt. And a lot of malt. I've had so many IPAs that I forget that there's other components to a beer other than hops. Um, Okay, the truth of the matter is I've been kind of putting this off, so I'm going to go ahead, just dive right in and start drinking. Cheers. Okay, it's better than I remember it being, but it's still not my thing. Um, I will put it to you this way, though. If you are someone like me who is not a fan of hefeweizens, you go to somebody's house and that's what they have. They've got this, they've got the Oberon Ale from Bell's. I say go ahead, give it a shot. It's not so bad. Now, I did actually read the story. A friend of mine on Untapped, one of my Untapped friends, um, Jeff M., buddy, if you're watching, I understand. Apparently, when he goes to his in-laws, they love this Oberon ale. They drink it. He basically drinks one to be polite, but he's not enjoying it. And that's kind of the way I feel about this beer. I think the 3.0 is all I can really give this beer. Just, and I know it's largely because I don't like the variety, and it's not fair to give a beer low marks because of that. But just if it's the way I base it is, if it makes me like it, then I give it higher marks. The best I can say about this is that I don't hate it, um, but I'm certainly not enjoying it. And it's American wheat ales just really don't do it much for me. But let's get into the descriptors. I'm going to describe that as a low mouthfeel. There's really no spikiness to this at all. I'm not experiencing much of anything in the way of an alcohol burn, but 5.8 ABV, that's not particularly surprising. Um, Mostly what I taste in this, like I said before, you smell it and you taste it is an orangey, spicy malt profile. I'm guessing they must have just used a combination of hops that created this flavor because, as I said, they say that there's only 4 ingredients in fruit and spices are neither of them, or none of them, excuse me. So I'm just not sure how exactly they go about doing this. It's not a bad beer if you like. The thing is, I don't even know if you like American wheat, you're gonna like this a whole lot because it's just I don't know. This isn't. I'm just. I would not have chosen this beer. I tell you that much. This is what came in the package, and I would not have chosen that beer for the very reason that I'm a fan of Bell's Brewing, and I just don't like this beer that much at all. But that's not their fault. If you're a fan of Hefeweizens, maybe you want to check this out. But I kind of doubt it. It sort of even gets lukewarm reviews amongst the community. I mean, I know almost 300,000 rankings on Untapped is substantial, but amongst that, it doesn't get any better than a 3.75. I mean, that's like a C plus basically. So anyway, that's the end of that. And but there it is again, the Bell's Brewing. It has a 6-month shelf life at the time of this. I have absolutely zero idea what that says on the bottom of the can. So one more quick note. I see that I'm already almost at 10 minutes now. Um, like I said, I don't know where and how and the reviews are going to go. I have tried desperately to keep beers around the $2 price range when they were 12-ounce beers. No more than 4, usually around when it's a pint can. Um, Prices are going up, guys. Inflation is hitting us all. It's just the grim reality of it. When I started this, I was actually in Washington. I was in Olympia, or in Lakewood, Washington, when I first started this, and I could find all kinds of beers that were less than $2 at that time up there. I came down to Vegas, and I was lucky to find anything that was less than $2. It took a lot of work to find some of these beers at these prices. So, but that's what I'm going to be dedicated to. I'm not going to do those reviews that I did a while back, where I did the Stone Soaring Dragon, and I did a few other expensive beers. I'm not doing that anymore. That's not me. That's not what I'm about. You know, sometimes I do an expensive beer because I want to try something out. And as I've said before, and I'll say again on this channel, look, sometimes you just got to spend some money if you're going to enjoy the hobby. When that's the case with any hobby. But when I do these reviews, I really try to focus more on those that are affordable and that are good deals. And I'm really sorry about those reviews back at the end of May that were expensive beers. I don't want to do that anymore, and I don't want to do that to you because that's not the point of this channel. The point of this channel is I'm here to show you that you can drink good beers and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do it. And so for me to spend a whole lot of money and say, hey, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but I did. That's hypocritical, and it defeats the purpose of this channel, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm really sorry that this review is being recorded in May and not going up until August. But you know, my mom used to say, "God love her." Now I've let's see, it's almost going on 5 months now without her. But she used to say all the time, "Life is what happens to you while you're making other plans," and that's exactly what happened here. So until next time, guys, I hope you really liked this video, and I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the other side sometime here in August. All right, guys? Until next time, cheers.